That's my baby. I'm dying. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour right here on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Tsutsuti, along with the Dark Wing, Brian Daly.
What up?
And the Broken One, Rob Povia.
Cobra Kai never dies.
And we are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. If you have any aches and pains or you're stressed out a little bit, you can call Dr. Paul Vidal. Reach him at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and you can visit him at his locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Listen, man, if you just need to get away and you just need to relax for a moment, or if you have an ache or a pain of some kind, Dr. Paul Vidal will take care of you. What's going on, Anthony? Gentlemen, we are back. Couple of weeks off. A lot went down in the NHL during that time period. And boy, oh boy, is the 2020-21 season going to be ever more crazier than it was going to be before. It's going to be a mad dash to see who will survive this 56-game stretch.
Yeah, we saw it a little bit in Major League Baseball. I mean, a lot of it, cutting down from 162 to 60 and how it was just a mad dash to get into one of those playoffs. You're going to see something similar here in the NHL. It should be exciting, making lemonade out of lemons.
I can't wait. Oh, I've been dying for it. World Junior Tournament, doing a fairly decent job at getting you amped up. Team USA doing their thing, becoming gold medalists. I can't wait. I'm hyped. I can't wait.
It gave you just enough taste of hockey to get ready, like a nice appetizer. And what was great for the kids, for the first time in forever, however long, they were the only game going on, not during the season or what have you, having the full spotlight on them. And what a year with the talent crop that we saw in those juniors.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'll say it now because I'm probably not going to get to say it later on when we start talking about it. Trevor Zegras. Hey. Let's go.
And let's see here. So, before we dive into it, we're going to be talking about the Flyers' January schedule. Obviously, their opening day matchup, which they'll be facing those disgusting Pittsburgh Penguins. They'll get to face Crosby a lot this year. Hopefully, maybe take him out. That'd be nice. Permanently. Anyway, and the Twitter poll question has everything to do with that. What's up, Don?
Don, my guy.
That's right around the corner. And the Twitter poll is the Flyers will win their opening match against the Penguins. Agree or disagree? That is the options available to you. We got Amber Broger-Hulse chiming in saying Elijah said #agree. So we got an agree in there. Hopefully we'll get a bunch more.
Smart kid. She's raising them right.
Absolutely.
I have a feeling we'll have one or two, and it's so hard to prognosticate these early games, especially in these newfounded conditions this year. But it should be interesting. It's going to be so much fun. What a triple header we have on the opening day.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild, wild day. What's up, John? What's going on, man? He says, so nice to see Nolan P back on the ice. Yes, it absolutely is.
Absolutely, Johnny. How we doing, Johnny?
Got a little bit of a scare. I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. And John Lynch saying, what's up, guys? I agree to the poll. I think we will win. So that's another agree on that side. Amber saying, shut up, Brian. Let's go, Caps. Chris Dunn saying, let's go, Flyers.
What's up, Chris?
And Anthony did compliment the fact that I changed the jersey back here to a Phantoms jersey. This is actually the rare ones, too, the old purple ones they had back in the day. Those were badass. Anyway, Colin Gamble saying, how many more days till Lane becomes a Flyer? an entire season.
Nah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. Apparently, there's 3 teams in on Line right now, so there's a potential that he's going to wind up somewhere else before the season even starts. We'll see what happens. There's no traction behind it yet. Flyers are one team. I think the Rangers were another team, and then I think Columbus was a third team. So, see what happens.
Bobby Stevens saying, "Let's go, yeah, let's go, boy." And Chris Dunn saying, "Samaran leveled Patrick in practice. He's okay."
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to, Chris. That's absolutely what I was alluding to. What was a great sign was that he didn't miss a shift. He was right back out there, finished the scrimmage, and has looked great in 3 scrimmage games, So, talking about another addition that we didn't see all last year. And to the previous comment, I believe that was a Columbus Blue Jacket fan reacting to Dubois getting signed for 2 years by the Columbus Blue Jackets. They waited till, this was actually before the calendar turned to 2021. By the way, Happy New Year, everybody. We made it out of 2020. And so far, much the same. But you know what? It's getting better. Hockey's around the corner.
Yeah, a lot of craziness going on out there still, but it is what it is. Yeah. We're here to be the escape. We're not going to talk about it.
Oh, sure.
Just keep moving forward, people. Let's go.
Well, I'll go back to the contract for Dubois. 2 years, $10 million. They got him on the cheap, boy. That's a very team-friendly contract. Low years, low money.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't notice this. Sami Vatanen went back to the Devils.
Yes, he did. Oh. He signed a one-year deal. Yep. So be interesting to see what he brings to the Devils there. Tristan Russo saying, "I can't freaking wait for the Flyers." Oh, yeah, man. None of us can wait.
Listen, I don't even care if it's a Flyer. I'll take the Senators and the freaking Sabres. Just give me something.
We got Dan Chirac Jr. chiming in. Oscar growing the locks back and Patrick back on the ice. Let's go, boys. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I really think this Flyer season is going to be a really, really good one. I said it all season. This team has a bright future. The window is opening very quickly for them, and depending on how camp goes and who winds up making the roster, I got a couple names in mind. I see nothing but good things for this team.
Amber's already making me a friend right now. She's saying Sabres with the laughing emoji on the side. That is just quick way to my heart, shitting on the Sabres. Anyway.
Her husband's a Sabres fan, though. That's partly why she's laughing.
Oh, well, still. I approve.
Which I did not do on purpose. I literally picked 2 names out of the top of my head. And they were the 2 shittiest teams that came out. So, yeah.
Kevin Dixon saying, "Honestly, I don't mind which hockey team wins. I'm just glad hockey is around the corner."
Agreed, Kevin. Agreed.
Anthony's saying he's debating if he wants to get Reading Royals tickets. Hey, man, if you can go and they're allowing you into the arena, go, man. Have fun.
Absolutely.
Death to Schittsburg.
And we got Chris Dunn chiming in. Do you think Moran can make the team at left wing?
I mean, we'll see. There's still a couple other guys I think that might beat him out for that position because he hasn't been playing in that position for very long. Granted, I don't want to say it's an easy position to learn because none of them are easy. It's just he's going to have a little bit less responsibilities. And the one huge bright side to having Sam Moran up on the left wing, especially on the 4th line, physicality.
Yes.
One of his weaker points is kind of why he didn't make sustained time on the roster is not just because of injuries. That was a big part, but apparently he was not very good back skating, or not necessarily back skating. How do I want to phrase this? He was getting beat a lot, believe it or not, and it was showing a big problem for him, and he wasn't able to kind of fix it. So I think that's a part of the reason why they're moving in the left wing as well is he's not going to have to really worry about any of that stuff. He's just going to be sitting at the point covering the defenseman, and his physicality is going to be something huge because they got pushed around in all the playoffs from Montreal to the Islanders, and it's something we talked about constantly was the lack of physicality, the lack of bodies, the lack of pushback. So,
yeah. No, you make great points there, Brian. I mean, he did get out of position. And you know what? The two can be linked together in that regard, because when you're caught out of position, that's usually when injury strikes. And he's had plenty of problems with the knees. I like the move to wing. It'll put less strain, less wear and tear on those knees, not only in those situations, but also just in general on the lower body, less shots being blocked.
Yeah.
And he adds that physicality. Yeah, absolutely. He adds that physicality. But ultimately, it's a new position. It's something that he's going to have to work through, with the Phantoms. And, can he contribute to this team in this season? I think because it's shortened, I say no. But, it depends on how much injury strikes the main club. You know what I mean? And if you could throw a big body in there on the fourth line, all the better.
No, absolutely. And here's the one other plus. And I kind of feel bad for the opposing goalies. They're going to have to deal with that slap shot a lot closer than coming from the blue line.
Mm.
And he's got a heavy shot.
Yeah, so we got a lot coming in here. Pete was chiming in saying, yo, what's up, Pete?
Pete.
Greg was saying, I agree to the poll. Let's go Flyers. And Brodo chiming in saying, hello, gentlemen. When I arrive momentarily, I have a very important question for you. Maybe the most important question I'll ask you in 2021.
I'll be on break for that.
The answer is clavicle.
And Greg also said, Team USA for the win. Let's go. Yeah, it was great.
USA.
And Tristan Russo was saying, very promising future for this team. We're just getting started. And we had Ted chiming in. He's like, did you guys watch USA Juniors versus Canada Juniors? We won 2-0 for the gold. Can't wait to see Cam York with the Flyers. Absolutely. Captain of Team USA, too. So that's
Don't forget Bobby Brink had a very, very good tournament as well. He's just not quite ready yet. But Cam York is coming soon. Coming soon.
Don saying Spencer Knight, that guy is special. And he's also saying that your Ducks have a bright future ahead of them there, Bri.
Yeah, with Trevor Zegras. And then Jamie Drysdale had a really good tournament as well. Both guys left him almost immediately. Well, Drysdale sooner than Zegras. He had to go celebrate with his teammates after winning the gold. But both arrived at camp. We're ready to go.
Just the same, we've suffered so much with the Phillies and the Eagles, we need the Flyers.
And then even worse. So, real quick before we jump back into this, I need to give my tip of the hat to my boy Robbie here. The New York Mets acquiring Lindor and Carrasco, which probably means the Phillies will be in the basement again this year.
Not necessarily, man. When you look at my New York Mets, and it sounds weird when I say New York Mets wearing a Philadelphia hat, I was dropped on my head as a kid a lot. What can I say? But I do love my Mets. I do love my Flyers. They're my top two teams. But for the Mets, when you talk about a team that consistently underachieves the talent that they have on paper, it's them. So, I hope that it's not done yet, but in terms of the other teams, this is going to be the most competitive division in baseball. But that's a story for another show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to throw that out there. He made me think about it. Just a little quick message here to the Phillies and Dave Dombrowski. Do something.
Well, I'll reel it in with Spencer Knight, and credit's got to go where credit's got to go. And Priz has been touting him for a while. He touted him back when we did our young draft for the next 10 years. And I'll fully admit he was not on my radar. He is now. I will say this tournament, though, he was getting a lot of puck luck. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's going to be a great goaltender in this league. But talk about the reverse end of that spectrum, a guy that was getting zero puck luck and an inability to actually hold on to his hockey stick. He's going to have to work on that, maybe get some stick. Yaroslav Askarov, it was exciting watching him play. And it didn't quite work out for the Russians. They were seriously undermanned. But, man, talk about Nashville having an embarrassment of riches between the pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was great about that junior tournament, especially when it came to the championship, both goaltenders on the USA side, Canada side, both prospects for the Florida Panthers.
Yep.
So they have a very bright future. And
Yep.
you hit the nail right on the head there, Robbie. And it's one thing I was going to bring up when we actually got into the discussion was Spencer Knight played great. And I'm not going to take anything away from him because he earned that W and he helped Team USA win.
You guys shut up. Yeah, I'm not taking that away from him.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
He had a couple bounces go his way, like you were saying. One at the end of the first period when Canada was on the power play. He got flat out beat. I don't even think he saw the puck,
Right.
but the puck found the post and stayed out. So that was huge. And Canada hit a couple other posts later on in the game, but sometimes you get we talk about it all the time, puck luck, it goes either way. Some nights it's going to go your way, some nights it's not. But the one thing that really hurt Team Canada, they haven't faced a really good 5-on-5 team until they met Team USA in the championship.
Truth be told. Truth be told. I mean, with Spencer, the commentator said it beautifully. Sometimes you're the fly and sometimes you're the windshield,
Absolutely.
And he was the windshield. But, give credit to a goaltender for taking proper angles, being big in the net. That's going to cause some posts.
So we got Joseph Horakowski. What's up, Joe? Chiming in. Who does JVR take a roster spot from? Patrick, Farabee, Frost, Raffle, or Obe Kubel? What knack?
I think all those guys get a spot. Yeah, I think they all get a spot. To be completely honest with you, if anybody, maybe Frost. If I got to pick out of this list, but obviously we know Linus Sandin is going to be a guy who's competing for a spot as well, who might get robbed out of that spot. I don't think Zade Wisdom is going to be quite ready. Tyson Forester, I don't think is quite ready. Maybe you can make an argument for Farabee as well, but I don't know. That's a tough question. Damien, our brother from down under. Let's go Ducks.
We're going to have to see how they play. Do they carry that momentum that they had and they develop? Do they further it to the next level? Does Frost make that jump? One thing I could see is if the answer to all those questions is yes, maybe you see Raffle and JVR be oscillated in and out of the lineup as two veterans, thus keeping both of them fresh in a condensed season.
Yeah, especially for a guy who underachieved last year. He's making $7.5 million a year on his contract. Only winding up with, what was it, like 30 some odd points? I don't think he broke 20 goals. That's got to be something you got to do to JVR right now, I think, because he's not living up to his contract. And if somebody else is going to produce better than he did, you got to do it. You got to put the production out there.
Well, we got Joe chime in saying, I think Farabee plays on line one. That would be interesting to see the young buck be able to make a statement there on the top line. Giroux, Coots, and Farabee is line one. Interesting. And then Tristan was saying, how much does Giroux have left? Do you mean on the contract or do you mean in terms of playing ability? I'm not sure which one. Contract-wise, I think he only has, a year or two left on his contract?
I think
Drew.
I think he's got 2.
He's got 2 years. Okay. Yeah. So in terms of contract, he's got a couple years left on that before that comes off. And he's saying playing ability. As for playing ability, we'll see. I mean, during the playoffs, obviously, he did not perform very well. During the season, he was okay at times, and then sometimes he was there, and sometimes he wasn't. I don't know. I hope Giroux can find his old self during this run. I hope that he can kind of revamp himself here. That way we can start seeing him do what he used to do back in the day, score a very clutch goal and turn the whole game around for us. But
I think he does because, I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with this, but he really is one of the best players in the league. And one of the things, and I'm saying this as a joke, it's just a joke. I'm putting this out there now. I think the Flyers were lost without the crowd in the stands yelling, shoot. And the reason why I make that joke is because this team is just so pass happy, and I say this all the time. I sound like a broken record how often I say this. Sean Couturier, Jake Voracek, Claude Giroux. You can even throw Kevin Hayes in there. These guys are all pass first guys. They're pass. That's why the power play suffers as much as they do. They don't have a guy who's, I don't want to say confident enough to take the shot, but they don't have. Okay, best way to say it. They don't have the selfish player who's going to take the shot. A shot first player. They're all going to be like, you take it. No, you take it. You take it. Somebody take damn shot.
The only two players who show shades of that are Konechny and Hayes. That's it. The only two.
Yeah, like I said, you can argue Hayes to be a pass first player, but it's something that this team has been lacking for a few years, and I think that's the one thing, in my opinion, that's missing from this team to being a cup contender now. And to answer, I don't know whose question it was about Cam York being the main roster. Not this season. I think he's here next year.
Yeah, he should pretty much go from college into the NHL. I don't see him having to spend time in the Phantoms.
Yeah, I don't think he's – I'm looking at the training camp roster. I don't see his name on here, but doesn't mean he's not there.
Yeah.
He was in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Right.
For the juniors.
Yeah.
So that's why so I don't know if he'll be able to. You walked into a great point though, Brian, because now he's got to leave one bubble and kind of go to another bubble, and that's going to result in protocols that the league released during the holidays, and that's going to obviously. At least he was playing though, so he'll be in great game shape, and he was tremendous for Team USA. But will he be? He'll be behind the eight ball, and that between that and being wet behind the ears may make you guys right on that. But I wouldn't be surprised if you do see him, because in training camp they're really struggling to replace Niskanen. Proby's played with three different guys trying to nail that partner. The latest being Shane Gostisbehere. I think Justin Braun. I think he's played with and Mark Friedman, who's a lesser-known but equally talented defenseman.
I like Friedman. I think he makes the roster this year.
Yeah. So that's what you might see. So, if Mark Freeman can help solidify that, if Eric Gustafsson, new signing, can help solidify that, then that kind of certainly makes sure that York will be, in the following season. But yeah, man, he looked good, and was Team USA's captain. So obviously he's mature enough to play at this level.
He, although to your point, Rob, he's at an advantage that some of those guys don't have yet. He's actually in playing shape right now. So that gives him an advantage over some of these other guys.
True.
That's true.
Right.
And he's young, so if he wants to make that jump from going to the bubble of the World Juniors and, hey, let's see if I can do the NHL, and you're like, oh, well, yeah, he's a young buck. He can probably do that, and it won't be too much wear and tear.
But yeah, other than that, looking at the roster, it's going to be a tough decision. Glad I'm not a coach. Otherwise, the defense, I think the defense is pretty straightforward as far as who's going to be making the roster. Braun, Friedman, Gostisbehere, Gustafsson, Haig, Myers, Provorov, Sanheim. That's 8 guys there, but they're going to be the 8 guys that's going to more than likely make this roster. I don't see Wade Wiley yet, but he's a big prospect that a lot of people are excited about. Chris Bygrass, don't really know who he is. Derek Pouliot, there's another guy that could make the roster. So that's 9. Did I do that right? Yep, I'm good.
45.
45. What? That's not what I did. It's backwards.
Kenny.
Tyler Witherspoon.
Witherspoon. Okay.
He's had a couple games up here, but there's nothing to really be like, wow, I can't wait for this guy to come back. But it's pretty cut and dry to defense. Offense could go a couple different ways.
Well, question for you boys, right? In this new league format, this is something I think I read, but I'm not 100% on. Are they two going to have a taxi squad to where you'll have a bigger active roster, so
Yeah.
thus this depth will help them.
Yeah, every team has to have a taxi squad of some kind. One of them has to be a goalie. So you're going to have 3 goalies available to you. One just has to sit on the taxi squad while the other 2 are sitting there dressed. That's pretty
Probably
much
going to
what
be Lion.
Yeah, I can see there being Lion. Well, even more because Ustamenko apparently is on IR, so it's definitely going to be Lion.
Yeah, Sandstrom's not ready. He'll probably. How old is he now? He's probably what, 20, 21?
Somewhere around that range, I believe.
So he probably can't go back to juniors. He'll probably play over in Europe. I don't even know who Roddy Ross is.
Oh, another recent pick. What's up, Prism? What's going
What's
on,
up,
dude?
Priz?
Yeah, we're back, man.
I already rang your praises for Spencer Knight, so you don't have to comment that.
Oh,
It's
we
done.
got I think we have
Right
Mr.
back.
Brodo here.
Quick, somebody hide me.
No. So Brodo's thinking of his question. Joe said, when I make my NHL 21 lineup, Lindblom, Patrick, Voracek would be an interesting line. Would also like to see Hayes and Konechny together with someone who could put it in the net, maybe Frost, Raffle, Lawton, and Ove Kubel on our grinder line, which would leave one of our top 6 line of Giroux, Coots, and Farabee. And then
I like that line. I like that line of Coots, Farabee, and Giroux.
His defensive pairings, he's got Provorov and Myers. He's got Sanheim and Gustafsson. And he's got Ghost and Braun as 3. And then reserves would be JVR, Bunneman, Forester, Haig, and Friedman.
The only thing I don't like about this, I'm good with it for the most part. Forster, if he's not in the starting lineup, he's going back to juniors. Other than that, this is pretty much what I have for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta. This is gonna be fun, man. We got so much young talent in the pipeline. It's like, boy, this is great. Now, the young talent, specifically Provy, it's a big year for him. It's time for him to okay, Niski's not here. Now it's time to be the leader, So, and he has all the capability of doing that. I have no doubt in my mind he can do that. It's just, here you go, ball's in your court. Let's see what you do with it. So I'm very interested to see how that will go moving forward, because the defense is going to be a lot younger this year than it was last year, because you had Niski there and Braun's there, and he's been around for a while, but Braun is a 3rd defensive pairing. We knew this a long time ago when we got him. So it's going to be interesting moving forward. But hey, I'm excited to see it. Hopefully Provy, he takes that step forward, and it's like, there we go. There's our defensive captain for the however long it is, and hopefully if Cam York does show up, maybe he found his defensive partner. Who knows? That'd be great to have Provy and Cam York be the top 2 defensemen that you have on your roster. Our defense would be nice.
It's coming.
So, real quick before Brodo jumps in here, Damien wants to know, when do we reckon Trevor Zegras is ready? I think he makes a roster this year. I think they have a couple spots open up, and I think he had obviously he had one of the best showings for Team USA in the juniors. I hope he makes a roster this year. Mr. Brodo.
Gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
So
Guy?
I need your help. I need your help because I look at you 3 guys and I say you guys are who I go to for all things hockey and Flyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, over the past handful of months to days or even hours, depending on if you want to even talk about that Sixers performance that we just saw, I am, how you say, in a crisis. Okay. I look at the Eagles and don't even get me started with that filth, that absolute filth that is that organization. I look at the Sixers and sure, 7-2. That's great. I'm not even going to start inexcusable performance tonight. Embiid looks like he's 90, but we're not going to talk about it. And then you go all the way to this morning to where Pove, Brian, Sudi, you've known me for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. When it comes to the MLB, there's been one guy that I've always wanted, begged for. It wasn't Trout. It wasn't Machado. It wasn't even Harper. It was Francisco Lindor. And they let him go to the Mets. The Mets. Not us. To the Mets. So I
taking any other team.
And it could have been any other team. Just stay there. Stay on the no-name Cleveland, whatever they're calling themselves. Just stay there. Just stay there. So my question to you guys is, I look at the Flyers and I say, well, God, here we are again. They're my only hope again. But I just need to ask you, are they going to break my heart too? Are they going to break my heart too? And what should be my honest expectations? Because I can't do this again, Maddie. I cannot do this again.
Okay, so
yes, they will break your heart because they've already broken mine, and the season hasn't even started.
See this?
Don't listen to Bry. Bry's team's going to be last place in his division. Listen,
I like that. I like hearing that, Maddie. Keep going. I like hearing that.
This is for you.
So
that's first off.
Thing.
This is number one. You ready for number two? Here's number two. Number three. Hey, we'll be competing in 2 to 3 years, and we'll be in the cup before the Flyers.
The Phillies said the same thing 10 years ago. Yeah.
But the Ducks actually deliver.
Until they get to the Western Conference Finals and they lose.
Hey,
but anyway.
Hey, how did the Flyers do in the Eastern Conference Finals this year? Let me know. I'll wait.
Well, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see how the 56 games goes. But anyway. All right. So, expectations for the Flyers. Honestly, here's what I would think. For me, I am doing things baby step. I'm not trying to rush this team because this team is still so very young that it's like you can make a mistake and lose in the playoffs and come back the next year stronger than ever. You still can. There's so much room for this team. My opinion, I would say Eastern Conference Finals. That would be my expectation for them. They got to the semis this year and now get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Take the next step forward. And then how you perform in there will be really a judging factor of, okay, that's the biggest series you've been in. You guys played well. Even if you walk away with a loss at the end of the day, you can say, okay, you took a step forward, baby stepping it right to the Stanley Cup Finals. I have no problem with that at the end of the day. Now, and like I said, the team's so young, you can do that. You can baby step this. I know it sucks if you want a championship now. I get that. I understand that. But remember, we still have such a young team. We still have such a young crop of talent. We have Carter Hart in net, so the sky is still the limit at the end of the day. Eastern Conference Finals for me. That's my expectation for them.
Wait, are you talking expectations for the Flyers or the Phillies?
It's a hockey show, Brian. It's a hockey show.
All right. I'll give you both.
Oh, Jesus God. Oh, that's good. Oh, my God.
I miss you too, Brodo.
Pove, help me here, Pove.
Oh, it's on me? Okay.
Yes, you're the voice of reason. You are the voice of reason, Pove. Help me.
I'm going to make a point here, a point of order that something that I think is going to work to the Flyers' advantage is the realigned divisions. And hear me out on here, because a lot of people say that it's going to be a difficult gauntlet, and it could. It certainly could be. I mean, you got Boston moving into that, but you also have Buffalo. You know what I mean? So, in the end, you got Jersey. Islanders are going to be tough. Obviously, we saw how we don't match up well against them, right? Pittsburgh on the decline. Washington sort of in between there. You know what I mean? On the decline, and then you add the dinosaur that is, Zdeno Chara. So, I personally think that that's going to benefit them to make an easier path to those Eastern Conference Finals because you're playing out of the division. Like even when the playoff starts, the new format, you're not going to see the other division until, I believe, those semis, Maddie. So I think they'll get there. And here's the reason why. Oscar Lindblom. He's the shooter that this team was missing last year. And if you put him on a line with Jake Voracek, he is going to feed him all day. He's going to be, just a guy that you love to play around. Not forget about the cancer. He has such a great attitude on and off the ice that you're going to get a better playoff performance. But in the end, the journey will get cut short there because, you still have strong other teams that you're going to have to go against. Tampa Bay, you got Columbus, who I think is going to be a sneaky team in the Central. All these teams, I believe that's how it's going to work out, where East is going to eventually merge in the Central, as it moves up certainly anyone can correct me on there. But is any of this making you feel better?
Absolutely. Listen, anything you guys are going to say at this point is clarity to me, because when I look at these three teams, the other three teams in this city, I don't know where the hell I'm at. I don't know where the hell I'm at.
You're going to get a drop off in defense, I think, a little bit, because as talented and as deep and as young as they are, right? Philip Myers and Travis Sanheim, I have faith in them to take that next step. But you're still going to feel that loss of Niskanen. But to totally counterbalance that, Carter Hart is now another year older, another year wiser, right? And now you're going to really see him take this team on his shoulders. You're going to see him steal you more games, especially you're going to need to, because there's a lot of back-to-backs or maybe a day in between when you're playing the same team. It's going to be just like AB said. The whole season's going to seem like the playoffs, because you're playing the same team back to back, a lot of times in the same building too. So, in the end, I gotta believe that this team can go as far as Carter Hart can take them.
Got it. Daly? Oh, damn it.
No. This Flyers team, it's going to need to rely on a couple things if they really want to be successful. And it's a lot of things that they were missing last year, especially during the playoff run. Granted, a lot of the young studs, and I saw a couple of these comments through here, a couple of the young studs gained priceless experience being in that situation. But to me, there's two keys to the Flyers getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that has to be the goal. You got to the semis last year. You took it to Game 7. Granted, you didn't even show up. But you got there. Now the goal has to be, and I saw this going, I think I saw Tristan Russo comment on it. Joe Horkowski definitely said it a couple times. It's got to be Eastern Conference Finals or bust for them. Two ways to do it. Depth scoring. That's huge, and they did not have that. They got to stop passing all the time. They got to shoot more. 2, defensive consistency. And that's huge playing in front of a goaltender like Carter Hart. The thing I love about this kid is his work ethic, his drive, his desire to be the best goaltender in the NHL.
Right.
It's all going to be huge. We know he's, like, Rob, to your point, we know he's going to carry the team for the most part. He's going to steal games here and there because he's that damn good. It's up to the defense to play better in front, and it's up for these guys to figure out ways to create offense. Oscar Lindblom's going to add a spark, but that spark will fade, as we saw with another team in Philadelphia. 2, Nolan Patrick is back now. He's gonna bring back some physicality, much needed physicality. He's gonna be a body in front of the net. He's gonna cause havoc for opposing goaltenders. And again, something they were missing. And I countless times said, especially in the first round, you got to get in front of Carey Price. How do they score 95% of their goals? Ugly. Rebounds. Having bodies in front. These guys here are going to be factors. I mean, some more than others, but the Flyers very much could be an Eastern Conference Finals team this year.
Absolutely. And that's the goal. We all pretty much agree. Eastern Conference Finals, that's where we would have them. That's our expectation for them this year. Chris is saying Nolan Patrick will be the difference maker this year. I'm calling it. Joe does bring up a good point. Dean's zone exit and special teams. That's a good point to bring up there. Flyers power play was absolute dog shit in the playoffs, and they need to make sure that not only is it good in the regular season, it's got to be real good in the playoffs.
I'm keeping my expectations still. I'm trying to not allow my expectations get the better of me with Nolan Patrick. You know, he is coming back from a long layoff. You know what I mean? The guy that I think will be the true difference maker, and you're going to see the yin to the yang that we saw during last year's playoffs is Travis Konechny. You know, he's the guy that could provide that primary scoring that, to Joe's point, that we're getting lots of, the secondary goals from the bottom six, right? Who can help you out on that top line. And, we all watch sports, man. How long have you been watching sports? And you see the ebb and flows, not even within a year, but within a player's career. And you see the highest of highs are always preceded by the lowest of lows. I think he erupts for goals. I think another commenter said, I was asking about the over-under earlier in the show, putting it at 25 for TK, which might be a little bit on the high end because it's 56, not 82. I forgot that a few shows back when I was prognosticating his goals. But I think that's a great number to pick because do I believe he could score 25 goals in 56 games? You better believe it.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Yep.
Just real quick, I hope she's still listening. I just want to wish Eileen a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Eileen.
So just wanted to give you a little shout out here live. I did see you in the comments. I wanted to wish you happy birthday on the show today.
Yeah.
One of the Hockey Happy Hour faithful. We love you guys out there.
So we've got a Will Gamble 28 here saying go Pens. I don't know how I should feel about that. Let me all right. I won't shit on his team. I'm actually going to ask him I'll ask him a question. What do you think about your team's potential this year? That's a question I want to ask because the Penguins are starting to get into that realm where they're still a good team. They're not a bad team, but we're starting to see the window close for this team. So I actually want to know, what expectations do you have for the Penguins this year? I'm actually very interesting because the Penguins right now, where they're at, are starting to decline. So I wonder how long they can keep this up. That's my question on them. But all right, let's see. So we'll keep answering you guys' comments, but we are going to dive into what our main topic is, and that is previewing. Speaking of the Penguins, we might as well transition. The Flyers' January schedule. That same Penguins are slowly on their way down with the Blackhawks. I loved it.
I agree with the first half. Second half, not so much. I see Chicago kind of – they're on the up and up now.
Let's see. We have Ducks fans as one of the hosts. Does a Pens fan in the comments really bother you? Well, it is a Flyers show. So, I mean, but,
Ted brings up a valid point, though.
The Ducks are really not.
I mean, we're
really
Ducks
have
are
an
nothing
issue
to the
with
Flyers. Ducks are nothing to the Flyers.
The Ducks don't really bother me. It's like the only way that I could ever have a problem with the Ducks is if we met in a Stanley Cup final. Let's be honest, the chances of that happening are very low because when both teams are never good at the same time half the time. So
can I ask a question though? How did it feel when Kevin BX Superman punched Radko Gudas? For me, it was great. I just gotta put that out there.
In the heat of the moment, I wanted BX dead. Honestly. But
I was at that game too. I'm dying laughing because the entire crowd's like, oh, I'm like, ha 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 ha, jackasses.
Jackass.
Joe saying, Matt Puff, Brian, does Moran sit in the press box or go play left wing for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms?
I think he cracks a starting lineup for at least a little while. That's fair.
Mark's saying have to give credit to BX. He's got a few dudes with that Superman punch. All right.
BX was not a bitch, I'll tell you that. He'll stand up to anybody.
True.
And Radko, and I will say this, Radko Gudas is a big guy. He's not an easy guy to take down. And he
No.
did it one punch.
So let's dive into this.
Great.
So the
I'll have to
Flyers.
YouTube that later.
So the Flyers' January schedule on January 13th next week. Oh, I can't wait for it. By the time we'll be doing this show next week, Flyers will have officially started their season. And the Penguins will be coming to town, and the Flyers will get to face off with their ever-so-hated rival for 2 games on the 13th and the 15th. A 2-night homestand. This is going to be prototypical of the season where you're going to have back-to-back games where it may not be one day after the other, but it will be 2 games at that team's building. The Penguins, 13th, 15th, I think the Flyers match up against them this year, boys.
You can go ahead first, Robbie.
It's always a struggle when you get a fresh Crosby. And, with the national spotlight on him is when he likes to shine. So, cutting right to the chase, could we be a little bit disappointed on opening day? It's a possibility because there's still lots of goal scoring on there. And you got good goaltender between the pipes, Tristan Jarry. Don't want to discredit them. They're not dead yet, just like Richard Pryor, But I like being able to play them both at the well on those opening 2 games. You don't got the fans rooting behind you, telling you to shoot the puck, but you still know how those boards bounce better than your opponent. And last change, we saw that be a big factor in the 2014 tournament, despite the lack of home ice. So I see a split in those first 2 games because, the Flyers still match up with them well. They're not, in my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, boys, I don't see the Penguins as, a very big team that should give this team fits like we saw with the Islanders and even the Montreal Canadiens in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Penguins aren't really known for the heavy hitting and such like that. They're more known for the skill game, which that's usually how they would compete against the Flyers. If they ever tried to out-hit them, that's when the Flyers would win. But if they tried to out-skill them, that's when the Penguins would win, unfortunately. But this year, I would say the Flyers, they are going to match up pretty well against Pittsburgh. I mean, in the past, the big issue that the Flyers have had with them is 2. 1, a lot of times we were relying on patchwork goaltending, which has always been a problem of ours. The other issue was depth. Sometimes the Flyers would have a little bit of depth, but not enough compared to what Pittsburgh had. Pittsburgh had depth and spades. And a lot of times you'd be like, okay, line 3's out. Yeah, line 3 scores 2 goals. It's like, the fuck? It's like, that's the Penguins. They have depth everywhere you look. So the thing is that now I feel like we're even on that side. I think now the depth is actually on our side for once, which is rare to see. It is very rare to see a Flyers team offensively more depth than the Penguins. But I think that will definitely help us moving into this season.
I don't think the Penguins are going to be as bad as people think they are. To Rob's point, they got Tristan Jarry, who I think is better than Matt Murray as their primary starter now. Now, granted, one of the things we need to realize is, boys, every team's platooning goaltenders this year.
True.
Some might see more than others, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot of back-to-backs. And backups are going to see some time too. It's not going to be directly down the middle. You'll see some goalies go back-to-back, but for the most part, most teams are going to be platooning. So, after Tristan Jarry, I really don't know who their backup is. So if the Flyers can see their backup more often than Tristan Jarry, I think they'll be okay. I mean, again, to Rob's point about Sidney Crosby, a fresh, rested Sidney Crosby is a guy you really don't want to face. I mean, you don't want to face him when he's in the middle of the season and in great playing shape and all that. But a fresh Sidney Crosby still makes everybody around him better. So shutting down his line and the Malkin line is going to be key. Defensively, I think they've kind of taken a step back. I don't think they've really done anything spectacular, even during free agency, to bring anybody in on the back end. But that offense in Pittsburgh can still do some damage. So the Flyers are going to need to be able to keep up with those 2 lines. and maybe even more than that. Because I'm blanking on who else they have, but they're still a fairly dangerous team. They'll compete for a playoff spot, and they're still going to give some teams some trouble. So I'm not going to. I can't sit here and say to sleep on Pittsburgh.
Oh no. You should never sleep on Pittsburgh. Not even if the team sucks. Even if the team is just like, oh yeah, this team's dead last. Never sleep on them because it's a rival. Rivals you never sleep on. Why? Because they'll get a little bit more juiced when they're going in to face you. So it's a totally different ball game when you're facing a rival as compared to facing a dead last team in, say, the Western Conference or another division that you very rarely see.
Especially this season where that's all you're going to say is your rivals in your division. Yeah.
And I would agree, Mark. As long as Crosby and Malkin are there, there's always a chance of them being a playoff team. There's never not. They can always compete for a playoff spot. That's definitely the case. I mean, we know the Penguins, though, we know they're on a steady decline, but they're still capable of being a threat. We know this for a fact. The Penguins could come into the first round and upset a team, even if they're a lower seed. It doesn't matter. If the Penguins are going good, they're still a threat.
Right, and they're kind of like yin and yang, too, which is kind of what makes them so good together is, Crosby's that I'm going to make everybody around me better. But Malkin is, give me the fucking puck. I'm going to put it in the back of the net. And as long as they have one of those two guys, I agree with Mark. I agree with you, Matt. Rob, I'm pretty sure you're pretty much saying the same thing as well. They're going to be a playoff team as long as those two guys are still on the roster.
I'm sort of saying it because if you look at the numbers, you see Malkin's game is depreciating, and it's depreciating faster than Crosby. We even heard rumblings of them potentially, trying to move Malkin. I believe, I forget whether that was during the pandemic haul or between the playoffs and now where we're at today. But there was some talk about that. So just to be fair, Malkin isn't that same player. Now, he still plays with that attitude, and that's always a dangerous player, but he's not like his fellow Russian in Washington.
No, that man's, they're both machines, but
yeah,
that man is a machine.
He does not bleed.
Chris,
no, he doesn't.
I think Elliott can have another strong year. I think he's 55.
My age. Actually, he might be a year older than me.
Yeah. But he's gonna be needed though. I mean, especially in this opening month now, a lot of teams start off with a slightly slower schedule where they have at least that game break in between their back-to-backs. Flyers are going to have a back-to-back against the Buffalo Sabres, the 18th and 19th. They're going to have a back-to-back against the Islanders to cap off the month, the 30th and 31st. So, when you have a young goaltender, they're, more than likely can play those back-to-back, but it's so comforting to have Moose there, especially times.
Absolutely. And Carter Hart loves having him there.
Yeah.
He's taught Carter so much that, it's making him better. Like, you can't just bring in a guy and expect him to have that relationship that Hart and Elliott has. That's just something that it's rare. Like, that's a mentee? Mentee? Is that right? Sounds right.
Student, apprentice, whichever one you want.
Yeah, we'll go with any one of those, but that's a relationship you can't break up. I mean, Carter can probably survive on his own, but another year of having Brian Elliott at his back, still continuing to teach him, coach him, helping him take those next steps to where he wants to be, is absolutely priceless.
Absolutely,
and I love the fact that he's back for one more year.
Yeah, and Mark's right though about Malkin. Malkin does have a bit of a temper, and he does let that bother him. He's taken a few bad penalties here or there. So if you do get him frustrated, Malkin, he can be a bit of a dipshit when he wants to be. It's like, dude, why'd you take that penalty? You're a fucking idiot. But the same thing could have been said at the time.
Emotions run high, my friends. Emotions run high.
They do, but Sometimes you got to keep them in check. Sometimes you got to let them loose. Depends on, you got to have good gauge on that.
A
Whereas I'm
guy
saying
like
this
Malkin,
year,
you got to keep in check, though, because if he's off the ice for multiple minutes just because of dumb penalties or because he gets kicked out of the game, that does your team no good.
Yeah.
Chris goes, oh, you got it? Go for it.
Oh, yeah, I was saying this year the Pens are on a bottom seed, 6th and 8th. Malkin misses more games than Shaq does free throws, and there's only 52 games.
Oh, no, that's a lot of free throws to miss.
All right, so let's see
I
here.
agree with the first half, though. I think they are a bottom seed.
So it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. History kind of repeating itself. We saw this happen with the Penguins in the late 90s, and they started to slowly go down. Let's see if Pittsburgh actually corrects themselves before they start becoming dead last. Hopefully not. But for now, they're still nowhere near that. Anyway, Buffalo. So, 18th and 19th, we have the Sabres coming to town for the first time. The Sabres are going to be interesting because when you look at the division and you look at how really tough some of these teams are, you almost kind of feel bad for Buffalo, and you definitely feel bad for the Devils. Well, I really don't feel bad for either of them. But still, it's like, ooh, there's a bit of a drop-off here. I mean, not too much for Buffalo. A little bit for New Jersey, only because they can't seem to make it freaking mesh. But Buffalo can't make it either. So what do we expect from the Sabres this year? Because they made a lot of moves in this offseason to try and help boost their offense with Jack Eichel and some of the other young talent that they have.
I don't see the Sabres. I mean, it's tough to say. What version of Taylor Hall are you going to get?
Yeah.
Are you going to get the guy who busted into the league and pretty much kicked the door in and said, yo, I was in number 2 or 3 overall? He wasn't the number 1, was he?
No, Taylor Hall was number 1.
He wasn't number 1?
He was a number 1 overall.
Are you going to get that version of Taylor Hall? Or are you going to get the one that was in New Jersey or was pretty much in Phoenix? The guy who's just kind of just going to show up. I mean, granted, he may not have wanted to be in Arizona. You just went from Arizona to Buffalo. Like, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I like their defense. I think, and I've been raving about their defense for a while. I don't know if they have the offense to sustain a successful year. I mean, you sign Jeff Skinner to a contract extension, and he's done little to nothing. Taylor Hall yet to be known. Jack Eichel, from what I understand, is contemplating whether or not he wants out of Buffalo. You bring back Hasten Middlestat, who has been quite a disappointment for them. Oposo is just a guy. I don't know, man. It all depends on that offense. I think they have a solid goaltending that can win them games. They have a good defense in front with Jake McCabe being their defensive leader. It's tough. It's very tough with that Buffalo team, especially with. I think it comes down to coaching and the offense. Offense has to figure out ways to score goals, and coaching needs to figure out ways to get them to score goals.
Buffalo is. I hate to say it, but Buffalo's kind of fucked in this division. I mean, like, they would have done more benefit for them if they had been in the other division. Honestly, like, this is not a fun one. Like, I mean,
I had them actually making the playoffs in the Atlantic Division format, and I don't think they will under this format. Just how they match up against these teams, and you guys kind of talked me off of them a little bit. I was drinking the Taylor Hall Kool-Aid a little bit that they were going to make a really big push for the playoffs. But what I will say this: if they can keep this core together till your boy Dylan Cousins is ready to play up on the NHL level, man, he looks sweet for Canada. And they could have, they could have actually a chance to make the playoffs. Whoa was right.
They need to make the playoffs soon. They really do. If they don't make the playoffs within the next couple of years, I'll be surprised Jack Eichel says, "Fuck all y'all. I'm out. I don't care." And if Buffalo fails, all I can say is like, well, that's what you get for twiddling your fucking thumbs and not figuring out what the fuck to do.
Real quick, can we bring up Timothy McAllister's comment?
Sure. We got Timothy chiming in, say thoughts on Tyson Forester and Cam York. Good ones. Very good ones.
Think they're great picks overall. I mean, we saw what Cam York can do in the junior tournament. Be hyped about him. Tyson Forester is still kind of a yet to be known. Haven't seen much of him, and he doesn't play in the junior tournament. We know he has a heavy Ovechkin-like shot, which could be great. A lot of people classify him as a sniper. I don't see him as a sniper, but he definitely has a goal-scoring ability, and he's going to score a lot of goals for the Flyers.
Definitely the type of player that the team needed, and it was a great draft pick. I mean, you know my feelings. I wanted Jakob Pro, but unfortunately it did not make it down to us, you bloody bastard. But no, Forster's he's got, like you said, to your point, heavy shot. One guy I'm really enthralled with, and that's Zade Wisdom. I just love this kid's game. I love his background. Has had to fight for everything, has not been given anything in this life. And he's just a hard worker. He's the type of player that you love seeing in Philadelphia. And talk about a mentor-mentee situation. He's been being mentored by former Flyer Wayne Simmons. So he's looked good in this training camp. I've been impressed there. The future definitely is bright, but you know, I think out of all these guys, you see Cam York first. No, it has to be, right?
I think so. I mean, unless Forster just absolutely wows, and I mean wows them in camp, I don't see him making the roster. I see him going back to juniors.
Yeah, that's it. I watched that, Mark. It brought a tear to my eye, to coin a phrase.
Yeah. Dan was saying, do you think Cam York next year?
I say yes next year. I want to say this year, but it's a crowded pipeline right now, so definitely next year.
So we got Jason Clay chiming in. He's got a little bit of a big one here, saying the Penguins are the team that almost scares me least in the division. Top three: Boston, Washington, Philly. Pittsburgh is in a group with the Islanders, the Rangers, and Columbus. The Penguins might be a 5th and 6th place team in the division. A healthy Columbus team is dangerous. The Islanders are a very good team, as proven last year, and the Rangers are on the rise.
I agree. I agree with Jason here. And the one thing I will say is don't sleep on the Rangers. Yes, they are on the rise, but I think they're a team that might actually be here already. And they could compete for a top 3 spot in the division. I'm very high on the defense. Igor Shesterkin, he's a question mark. He's the only question mark, in my opinion, that is really going to make or break the season. Is he going to be the guy that they got last year who played in the KHL and put up like almost, I believe they are actually record numbers in the KHL. He had a G8 goals against under 2. I think it was like a 1.9. His save percentage was 390 or somewhere around there. But I mean, for the love of God, this kid is ridiculous. And if he's I think he's even half as good. Flyers are in trouble. We know that offense has punch, and we know that defense can play.
All right, so let's see here. We got Buffalo then from the 18th and 19th, 2 straight days in a row. Then we go on the road for the first time for the season, the 21st and the 23rd. We head up to Boston to play the Bruins. Now the Bruins, boy, oh boy, is this going to be interesting for the Bruins because now they don't have Chara, although they've got Bergeron, and we've known a long time ago if Chara was not around, Bergeron was taking over the captaincy well before this. But
yeah, officially named the captain today.
Yeah, but situation with Rask, and then on top of that, you also have the question of no Pasternak. So you lost a young player who, for now, is on the IR. So Boston's in a bit of a difficult spot here to start the season. I mean, not dead in the water spot, but still in a bit of a difficult spot here to begin their season. And they don't have Torrey Krug anymore because he's in St. Louis. Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
No, man, great minds think alike. I was going to ask you, who else are they missing from the squad? To that previous commenter and his projections, I like them, but I would kind of swap the Islanders with Boston. I think they're a team that could easily be on the decline because of the Pasternak injury. I mean, yes, you still have Marchand, you still have Bergeron, there's some other guys that are talented on the squad, but I do think the losses you'll feel them, especially in a 56-game season.
Yeah, with how quick it is, yeah. I mean, if he gets back and he can actually immediately jump right into it, okay, maybe he can make a difference. But if it takes a little bit for him to get his traction going before you know the season's halfway done because of how quick it's going to be, so Boston's in a bit of a pickle here going into the season. They're, like I said, they're not dead in the water, but it's definitely going to be a little tough for them going into this to this mad dash.
I mean, we'll see. I still think Boston is one of the teams to beat in the division. I mean, they lost Torrey Krug. That's going to hurt the defense a little bit, but they're still solid there. I mean, they're still deep. They're still very deep on offense. And, you don't have Pasternak, who's their best goal scorer. But, Maddie, to your point, they still have Bergeron. They still have Marchand. Those are two of their bigger offensive leaders, and they're the voices in the locker room. So, they're gonna respond when those guys start talking.
Yeah, this is true. We didn't see him in the playoffs, but that's definitely true, Joe. I mean, and a team can be carried by their goaltender. That was my defense for the Flyers. So, certainly that can happen. I don't think they're quite as deep anymore, bro. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to think. I'm racking my brain right now in terms of guys that I would be fearful on the squad.
I mean, you have Nick Ritchie for his physicality, so you got to worry about him. Sure. Andre Kasha, they're expecting him to be 100% back to where he was before he got hurt with Anaheim. So there's a couple of younger guys there that, we were talking last year how Boston needs to get a little bit younger. So there's two names right there that could potentially be and still yet to be proven. Guys who one can light the lamp and one's going to hurt you physically. And he does have some scoring upside as well.
They have Charlie McAvoy. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's their defensive leader now.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, he's going to definitely need to step up, and I think he can.
Agreed.
All right, gentlemen. So on to our next battle, and that is the 26th and the 28th, and it is the New Jersey Devils, and we will head to the Prudential Center to face them. And I have to say this about the Devils. Maybe they need to do this. I think they need to change their colors. I think from now on they shouldn't be wearing red and black. And they shouldn't just do this for the retro reverse. They should wear red and green permanently for now. Because they're playing just like that 80s team. Shit. Lost, confused, doesn't matter how much talent you have. No direction whatsoever. It's like,
that's what happens when Joshua Harris owns your team.
I mean, it is just wow. I would have sympathy for them if they weren't the Devils, but Jesus. I mean, and also, let's be honest here, they're going to be in a situation where it's a division that's going to be really, really hard for them to compete in because, again, it's a mad dash season. You're facing all these teams that are, usual rivals. Even Buffalo could probably spank them around a little bit. So, I mean, no offense to Mackenzie Blackwood. He's a capable enough goaltender. And like I said before when we were previewing them, they're not talentless. It's just, you said it on that show, Bri. They have no identity. We don't even know what the fuck they are. They're just kind of there right now.
That's why I made the comment, Dan. Because the Sixers were in the same boat as the Devils are now. So And that's true too, Mark. The Devils they're in the same boat, man. You got Nico Hersher, you got that kid from Russia, and you got Jack Hughes, and you still can't do nothing with it. But I feel bad for Kyle Palmieri. I do. I feel bad for Kyle Palmieri. Such a good player being wasted in New Jersey.
I have no sympathy for him. He scores every time we face him. But he should have just stayed in Anaheim. Anyway.
I agree. Love Palmieri. Come on now.
So for the Devils, I would say off of the I would say on a passing glance, the Flyers should win all these games. However, though, the game I went to, the Flyers got the fucking doors blown off of them in fucking Philadelphia. But then again, also that's habitual of the rivalry. Get your ass kicked at home, but you beat them in their building. Like, what the fuck rivalry is this? Always win on the road, but you can't win at home?
What was the one? Do you remember what we learned from that game, Maddie?
Honestly, I was so pissed I don't even really remember.
Rob, do you remember the lesson that we learned from that game?
Which game were we talking about? I was reading the comments.
The one where Maddie went to and they got destroyed.
Yeah, you're never allowed to go. Yeah, you're never.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. You're never allowed to go again, ever.
Yeah, I know.
And that's all three of us are there.
True. Or if we're playing in the Prudential Center against the Devils, because, like we said, it's reversed every time you go to their building. But anyway, Mark, that was funny. Oh, and then Niski, man, I will say, I was happy we had him for that 1 year. I was very happy, and I was very happy he did what he did to Gallagher during the playoffs. Scores, and then Niski breaks his jaw. It's like, that's what you get for scoring. But anyway, so let's see here. Flyers did a lot better in shootouts last year, but I still want to get rid of them. Feel like they should do 7 minutes 5-on-5, no goal 7 minutes 4-on-4, no goal 7 minutes 3-on-3. If no goal, game ends in tie, 1 point each, no points for just making it to OT.
Plutarski, you have no great point average.
That's not a terrible idea, but I love the 3-on-3, and I think it's great. I think they should maybe do like a 7-minute 3-on-3, and if nothing happens, then just give them the tie. I mean, they're definitely cutting down. They're cutting down on shootouts because they went to the 3-on-3 format. I love it. I think it's so exciting. I hate it at the same time.
Mark, my man, you are 110% spot on. It was that 5-0 game. And then they did spank the Caps the next night. So it's just like, of course, they lose to the fucking last place team, but they beat the shit out of the Capitals. I'm like, of course. Fucking course. But anyway.
But he is not allowed back to another Flyers game.
No, unless somebody who has good luck is there with me. It should balance it out. Anyway.
I'm not going with you then.
All right, so to finish this one up for their January schedule, 30th and 31st, circle this one on your calendar. This is the big one to close out the month of January here, and it is a home stretch against the New York Islanders. This is a main objective for the Flyers. Sustained regulation success against the New York Islanders. I don't give a shit about an OT victory. I don't fucking care. You can win an OT as much as you want. I want you to beat them in regulation. I want you to get a fucking lead and hold it against these guys. That's what I want you to do. I want you guys to be able to show me you can handle them in a format, whether it's regular season or playoff, where you can have a lead, you can hold a lead, and you don't get out-muscled in your own zone. That's what I want to see. And you don't get smothered either. That's the other thing, because they would smother them if they took the lead on them. So again, it's one of those sustained success against the Islanders. It's a key objective for the Flyers this year, because the last thing you want to do is struggle against them this year, and then you draw them in the playoffs again. That's the last thing you want to fucking do. So, and that's a team you just don't want to be your pain in the ass moving forward. You don't want a boogeyman. You've just gotten out of that retooling, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. Don't make a boogeyman. Don't do what the Maple Leafs did and turn their Boston Bruins into the boogeyman. Don't do that. Do not follow the Leafs' example. So I'm circling that one on the calendar.
No, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's dirty. Put it down.
Mark,
Well-
have a good night, brother.
Yes, you too, brother. Definitely. Thanks for chiming in with awesome comments. You know what's interesting for the Islanders, as last I heard, Matthew Barzal has not been signed to that contract extension. Now he is a restricted free agent, so chances are they will get it done. But they're definitely leaving it to the last minute, the 0 hour. Will that spill into the season a little bit?
Probably. He is on. Believe it or not, he is actually on the training camp roster. So I think they're in the midst of working on that contract right now. But from everything I'm hearing, nothing's imminent.
Yeah. He deserves a payday. Certainly what he's been making, like $800K? I mean, geez, we should all be so lucky. But, for the talent level as a professional athlete, the money command, does the Islanders have it to spend?
That's a fair point. I mean, I think and the Cameron Ireland's comment here says, hard to smother us without Devin Taves.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was responded. Priz put out, what's everybody's projections for the team that's missing the greatest captain in the NHL the past 10 years, the Blackhawks. It's a little opinionated there.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. Well, we're definitely going to see what happens as far as the Chicago Blackhawks go. I did have them as a borderline playoff team when we did our season projections, and now that you don't have Taves for the foreseeable future, that's gonna hurt because that's the guy. That's is the heart and soul of that team. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So not having him is gonna hurt. Him and Kane together are just absolutely lethal. It's tough for the Blackhawks. So, I mean, figure out how long he's going to be out for. Hopefully it's not long. Hopefully he gets this, whatever it is. Sorry, Cameron's comment threw me off. I forgot I thought he was talking about Jonathan Taves for a second. He's talking about Devin. Not having him is going to hurt. So, if you can figure out what is going on, how long you're going to miss him for, maybe you do tank. Maybe? I know that's a word we probably shouldn't use in this area right now, but what do you think, Brodo? Should we use the word tank?
Brodo's not here.
Why is he never here?
He ran away. I think he knew the question was coming.
Damn.
He was scared of your disdain. No, he was not.
Oh, somebody lied
there
to
he
me.
is.
What?
Somebody lied to me. They said you ran away.
No, I'm here.
So here's a question for you. I know it's a sensitive subject right now, but hear me out.
Uh-huh.
I know it's a sensitive subject. Should I use the word tank or should I wait? Let things kind of settle first.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
He really just asked me that. He really just asked me that question, didn't he?
He did.
He really asked me that question.
Brodo, listen, man. You can do whatever you want on this show, man. I deputize you. Do whatever you wish to do.
You really just said that word to me?
Did you really just say that?
I have no answer for you, Mr. Daly, because you don't want to know my answer.
So that's a yes. We will not use the term tank.
So Gator Country here. Carter Hart is an average goalie. I expect nothing from the Flyers. Are you a Penguins fan, Gator? I
False.
just want to know. Just out of pure curiosity.
I'm going to call shenanigans on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I understand we lost to the Islanders, but I mean, relax. It's okay.
Carter Hart's a bum. He's never done anything.
Whoa. Hang on. What?
Oh, he's a Lightning fan. Oh, okay. Hey.
Vraska, what the hell are you talking about? I'm not sure if I even really want to know. Jonathan Taves to the Jets? Is that what you're saying?
What, don't you want
LSD.
Go get him, Prism. Go get him.
Is that what you're saying, Rosca? Jonathan Taves to the Jets? Ain't happening. So I can't.
All right, guys. So,
I can't.
oh boy, Brodo's here.
Joseph, it's 11:21 at night. What do you want me to sound like, Joseph? Maybe my voice is gone from screaming at the Sixers. You think of that, Joseph?
Oh.
That's a fair point. They were not very good tonight. What makes it worse is there was no Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving.
You just had to say that. You just had to add that in. I was gone. I was out.
Would it help if I said I missed this?
No.
It helps me. I don't know.
All right, so let's see here. So that's pretty much the schedule that the Flyers have got. They're facing 5 teams out of the 8, well, 7 technically in the division since, and so should be a fun little schedule to get us going here. Obviously, we'll be facing one other team other than those guys, and that'd be the Rangers. That's the only team that we don't face going into this particular month of hockey. So that's the Flyers' January schedule.
I do like Gator Country's comment here. Dallas will win the cup. I do think they go back.
Dallas has the ability to. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
They haven't made many changes. They lost Corey Perry, unfortunately, who went to Montreal, which is a great move for Corey and the Canadians.
Yes, it is.
They brought back Hudobin. Like I said, they haven't really made any changes. They got that drive still, and you can see it in Jamie Benn and Joe Pavelski. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Dallas make another cup run.
They could definitely get back to it. It'll be interesting to see. I wonder what will happen in terms of, like, will they run into Vegas, and will Vegas try and take them out next time? That's where I would actually like to see that rematch in the Western Conference Finals.
I want to see them in Colorado in the rematch, because I don't know if you boys remember, that was a series and a half.
It was, and Colorado, even injured, got it to 7. So that'll be interesting.
I agree with Gator. I agree with Dan's comment here, saying Perry's a big loss for the cup run. There's a few situations where Corey Perry came up huge to get those wins, and he's had a number of those with Anaheim, and he's probably going to have a couple of them with Montreal. But yeah, losing Perry hurts for Dallas. I didn't actually think I'd ever say that again, but
let's see here. Oh, this is an interesting comment from Joe saying, "Do you think the Oilers can keep Draisaitl and McDavid together like the Pens have been able to keep Malkin and Crosby?" Yeah. It just, the question is the salary cap. That's the one thing that, they put a lot of money into those two guys. So the question is, moving forward, are you going to have the ability to make the depth that's necessary? Because after Draisaitl and McDavid, they have some offensive depth to them. Defense-wise is, and goaltending is, yeah. Sorry,
goaltending's worse. The goaltending's our worst situation right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God, what is going on over there?
But let's see here. So let's take a look here at what we got going on around the NHL. We went over the Flyers schedule, so we'll wrap this up with the league talk
real quick, Maddie.
Sure.
Where's Connor McDavid? Oh, there he is. So they're pretty much got these guys locked up for the next 5+ years. Draisaitl for the next 5 years. He won't be a free agent until 25, 26. He'll be making an average cap hit of 8.5 that way. And then McDavid, making 12.5 over the next 6 years. I think if they're still competing by the end of their contracts, they figure out ways to keep those two. And yeah, I think you see the situation like Malkin and Crosby, and they're gonna be there forever.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be stupid if the Oilers got rid of them. You know, you have to keep those players. You know, they're franchise players. What are you gonna do? Get rid of them? Like, you can't. Like, what do you do to replace that? You don't. You don't. I know Edmonton traded Wayne Gretzky, but I mean, that they're not gonna do that with McDavid.
Just real quick, want to comment on a couple of these. Cameron, that Central is going to be a bloodbath. I think we all had a very hard time trying to figure out who was going to win that.
Oh yeah.
Waska, it does not hurt me anymore. He's 36 years old. He's not the player that he was, and we have younger, better players coming up. So I'm not too worried about Corey Perry. Carter Hart will definitely be in the Vezina this year. Maybe not the winner, but I agree he's going to at least be in the running for the Vezina. And Gator Country, I don't know what to say. What did he not do?
He's a Lightning fan. He didn't watch the Flyers, so there's not much we can say about that.
No, I want to ask because I'm very curious to his opinion on this. Is this something that Carter Hart did or didn't do that just hasn't impressed you? I mean, because if you're gonna bring up the playoff run, that wasn't quite all on him. You know, defense still has to play hard in front, and there's a few times he was left high and dry.
He got back-to-back shutouts, as in what, 21-year-old?
Yeah, I know.
What are we talking about here?
I know.
Peter, you're making great points, but you're blinded by Bazzi. I mean, none of us can be as good as Vasilevsky. I get it. But maybe Carter Hart could come close. Carter
Hart could come close, but you know what? As long as, like I said at the beginning of the show, as long as he continues that drive, that work ethic, that I want to be the best goaltender mentality, that's a Mamba mentality. Rest in peace, Kobe. He's gonna find his way to be one of the top goalies in the league, and we already know he's got the intangibles. It's just finding a way to have that defense be a little more consistent in front.
Also eligible for the Calder, or did the 2 games he played last year make him ineligible? No, I don't think the 2 games he played made him ineligible. You have to play more than just a couple. You could still be a rookie. Because technically, and this is funny, Matt Murray was technically able to win the Stanley Cup as a rookie 2 years in a row. Because he started in the playoffs, not the regular season. So
I want to say it's 10 games, but man, I don't even know where I'm pulling that from.
I think I know the place.
He said last year that the bubble for Sanheim Myers was their first time in the playoffs. They played well, though. They played well.
They did. I like it, and it gives you guys something to look forward to with Sanheim and Myers. I mean, I'm excited to see what Myers does this year.
Gator Country's response: he ain't there yet. That's all I'm saying.
All right, and that's fine. That's
fair.
That is absolutely fair. And saying that he's not there yet, great, because he's going to be 22 this year, so he still has room to grow. But seeing where he's been at such a young age and what he's done, it's reason for Flyers fans to be excited about him. He's going to be a franchise goaltender if he continues to develop the way he does. And like I said, his work ethic and his drive is going to be the 2 things that lead him there.
It pretty much was piggybacking off of the point about the defense having the disappearing act going on in front of Carter Hart through the bubble, which it did. And that absolutely did not help the situation whatsoever. And Joe's saying hashtag Frost for the Calder. But so let's see here. Okay, on to what's been going on around the league right now. Any notable things that happened after we did our last show a couple weeks ago? So for the Flyers, Mason Millman, who may be a career minor leaguer, possibly signed entry-level deal. Drake Caggiula did sign 1 year with the Arizona Coyotes for depth reasons. The Coyotes are going to be an interesting team this year to look at, just to see what they have, really, if any. They have some talent. It's not that they're terrible. It's just that it'll be interesting to see how they handle their division. Connor Sheary, former Penguin, now signs with the Enemy. He signs with Washington for a year. Eric Chernak re-signed with the Lightning for 3 years, which the Lightning don't give a shit about the cap. I'm going to say that right now. They give no fucks about the cap. They're like, we're signing all of our players back. You can take that cap and shove it up your ass. But
that trade they made kind of helped free up some space for that.
It did, but it's just so funny when they were re-signing their players. They're like, you're over the cap, right? And they're like, Tampa Bay, like, fuck you, who cares? Mackenzie Blackwood also re-signed 3 years with the New Jersey Devils, which is understandable. Blackwood is a good goalie. Unfortunately, the defense doesn't help him much in New Jersey.
Neither does the offense.
No. And let's see. Eric Howla signed 1 year with the Nashville Predators. Michael Frolik signed 1 year with Montreal. Montreal kept making a lot of moves, and they're really putting depth on this team. I think Montreal realizes what they have here. They're really trying to make a run here. Let's see. Mikhail Granlund signed 1 year with Nashville as well. Casey Middlestat did re-sign a year with the Buffalo Sabres. Anthony Cirelli, this was the one that made everybody scratch their head like, whoa, Tampa, you do realize you're over the cap, right? Because he signed a 3-year deal, and it was actually a pretty hefty one, too. We also have another one for Ryan Miller signing 1 year with Anaheim, obviously being the starter underneath, in front of Gibby.
Apparently, they don't like what they say in Stolarz to be the backup. I kind of assumed that he was going to be their backup, but it's Miller time, baby. Let's go. 1 more year.
So let's see here. Michael Del Zotto, former Philadelphia Flyer, invited to training camp for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Carl Soderberg signed 1 year with the Chicago Blackhawks. Big one here. Ilya Kovalchuk deciding he is done with the NHL. He signs with the KHL team Avangard Omsk. And I guess we could say that that's it for Kovalchuk's career in the NHL. Yeah,
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree, though. Okay, Brodo's got a story he's breaking in here. But before you break that, do we agree that Kovalchuk's career is pretty much done in terms of his prime years?
I don't think so. I mean, I know he's getting up there or whatnot, and this maybe he wants to finish his career in Russia. I could see that, but I mean, how many years did he sign in the KHL for?
I think for just a year.
Just a year. I could easily see him get wooed back. You know what I mean? A team needs a guy that can score light the lamp.
I mean, he did well in the Montreal system. I'm kind of confused why they didn't re-sign him. I know they had interest in it. I guess he just wants to play in the KHL. Let's do the breaking news.
Yep, breaking news. Rye, come on in, man. What you got?
All right. Well, here we go. I'm going to really need the Flyers now. Per Shams Charania, the Philadelphia 76ers have learned of a positive coronavirus test for a player during tonight's game in Brooklyn, forcing the entire team and organization to do an emergency quarantine in New York tonight and contact trace. So the entire team, as of right now, is in lockdown.
I thought you had something good for us.
Why would I? Why would I?
Why are you yelling at me?
You knew you were going to have to go through it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's they got off to a hot start, and it's good to get it out of the way earlier than later in the season. But Just the times we live in, man. It's a shame, and and you're gonna see it in hockey too. Minus the bubble and teams traveling.
Yeah,
hopefully knock on wood you don't. But
I think every sport has seen this early, and I mean, so why break the trend? So it's tough, but it kind of is what it is. Like you said, Rob, it's the world we're living in. It sucks, but
Ted was just like, that sucks.
You see,
Let's hope
that's-
for an NHL trade.
that's what I thought it was when he said Big Billy. I'm like, oh, the Flyers did something.
What do you
Maybe
think?
they really did something.
What do you think it was? What do you think was me breaking the Lane story that I've been waiting for 2 years? You think it was that?
No, but I think you still owe me money for that.
I never bet you money.
You bet me something.
I never bet you. I don't bet money. I'm not stupid. Find the tape. Find the tape of me betting you money.
You bet something. I don't remember what it was.
You owe me money after you cost us that championship in golf last year. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll say it. I'll say it.
We went into that tournament knowing I sucked. So don't give me that. I even told you when we went out the day before when we got our warm-ups in.
Oh, I didn't need you to tell me. I saw it.
And Dan, by the way, hopefully your mom and your dad are doing better. Saying that his mom and father-in-law are going through COVID right now. So hopefully they're getting better.
I know too many people that are going through it right now. So,
and if DB's watching,
anybody that's going through it, or know people that are going through it. So, hopefully speedy recoveries. But we need to get the answer soon.
Yeah, we do. And if DB's watching, we good luck, man. Let's see here. Next up. Marian Gaborik and Anders Nilsson traded from Ottawa, traded to Tampa Bay for Braden Coburn and Cedric Paquette, along with a pick. Derek Stepan was also traded for a 2021 second-round pick. Not that it really matters, Derek, for that particular trade.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I did not see the second half of that trade. I didn't realize that they took on Marian Gaborik's contract in Tampa.
Apparently they did.
Oh, my God.
That's the price you pay for making a deal of trying to fix your cap situation.
Well, one thing that could benefit them, I mean, it sucks the rationale for it, but Kucherov's out, going to miss the year, right? To the hip surgery, he's out all year.
Yep.
You could long-term IR him and delay that cap hit from Kucherov. I'm not sure what he's making per year. Maybe Gator could chime in with that.
It's up there. I know that.
Yeah. So you got to replace that production, and you're going to save a dime.
Joe, Marian Gaborik is not in the league. He's on the LTIR. His contract just hasn't run out yet. I think he's got one more year.
He's in the league as much as Pronger was when we traded his contract to Arizona.
And then who else was it? Where is it? Where'd it go? Somebody asked if somebody else was still in the league.
Quote unquote.
I don't remember. Oh, there it is. It was Ted FX. What's up, Ted?
Hey, Ted.
Coburn is still in the NHL? Yes, he is.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's still in the NHL. He's been in Tampa, actually, so he won a Stanley Cup. So there you go. Let's see here. By the way, you're welcome, Tampa. We traded him to Tampa Bay. Anyway, over to Ryan Callahan. He did retire, so had one hell of a career. So, and he won himself a cup before it was all said and done. So, you know what? Good for you. Zdeno Chara. Okay, so here we are. Zdeno Chara signing 1 year with Washington. This is an interesting decision made, but I think a little bit is because of the fact that they don't have Lundqvist anymore because of the heart condition, that he had no choice but to sit out for the year. Maybe possibly the end of his career, possibly. But I feel like they're trying to get a defensive leader so that way they can kind of make up the difference a little bit.
I don't know if it's going to make up the difference, but it's definitely what it is, defensive leadership. Trying to take that next level to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. I think that's something that hurt him a little bit last year. And we're going to get like Zdeno Chara, who isn't exactly, being as though he's 43 years old, not the player that he once was, but
he could still suffocate you though. He's so he gets up on you, and you're wrapped like an octopus. It's a fine addition, and I see where they're going with it because it's something in common with the Capitals that the Flyers are going to have is they seriously missed Matt Niskanen's level of production last year. So I mean, I don't think you get as much as the offensive side, but certainly the defensive side.
Yeah. Prism wants to know what bottom 12 forward has a breakout year this year and bottom 6 blue liner takes the biggest step forward around the league.
Oh, he's making me think today. I don't like this. I don't know if I can give you an answer right now, to be completely honest, Priz. My brain hurts.
We'll think about it. We'll think on that one.
Well, put it back up there. We'll figure this out. I just need to see the comment.
Sure. Here you go.
What bottom 12 forward has a breakout year this year? What bottom 6 blue liner? Right. So you're talking because what confused me was bottom 12 forward. I think of the top 6 and the bottom 6. All right. Bottom 6 blue liner. That's what I'm going to focus on, boys.
While you think about that, I'm going to yell at Raska for a second. We literally just said that he went to Washington, David. And not even just that. Stop with wanting all these 40-year-old players. Do you not want any of these young guys? Did you not watch Trevor Zegras in the World Juniors? No, probably not.
And Ted FX saying Washington went all old. They let their goalie walk with Lundqvist out. Who's their number one? They're fucked, right?
It's Ilya Samsonov. He's not terrible, but he's not Braden Holtby. But they'll survive. The defense now with Chara in front, it's gonna be good enough to win them some hockey games. Anyway, back to Raska. Stop it. Just stop it. He's 43 years old. You stop it. I will come to Arizona. I swear to God. There's an empty threat.
Robbie, you have anything for what Priz's question?
Yeah, what's funny is that I was scouring through a couple of blue liners, but I was going through a bunch of names, and I'm going to answer the first part. I believe he would still fall in this category, Priz. Maybe you can correct me, but I'm about to make you happy. A breakout guy I could see in the bottom 12, your newfound friend, Dylan Strome.
I like it.
I've always liked his play. That was a good trade that the Blackhawks made. They gave up talent in Nick Schmaltz, but Dylan Strome, it's a good family, good pedigree, and, he's learning. He's learning. I really feel like he can make a difference in this league. He's ready now.
And by the way, we got DB here. What's up, DB? Hey, man. DB. We don't care that you're late, bro. We're just happy that you're here, man.
You just better be on time next time.
Washington should put Tom Wilson in net. He is dumb as a pile of bricks. Maybe he could stop pucks like a pile of bricks. Let's see.
I like it. I do like Samsonov.
What's up, Chrome?
Chrome.
Yeah, there's a bunch of talk. There's going to be a bunch to talk about. There's a bunch to talk about today because of the couple of weeks that went by. So let's see here. Obviously, we talked about Sammy Vatanen signing 1 year with the Devils. Oh, wait a minute. We did that before the show. But yeah, so Sammy Vatanen back on the Devils for a year. That'll hopefully add something to the Devils' fortunes. But again, they're still the Devils right now, so we'll see. Anthony Stolarz did re-sign, by the way, with the Ducks for 2 years, but like you said, they did not like it, so they did re-sign Ryan Miller for a year. Let's see here.
Ooh, I got it.
What you got, Pove?
It's not going to make us happy too much as Flyers fans, but my pick for a breakout bottom six defenseman, Adam Fox, New York Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Good choice.
That's a great one.
Absolutely good choice. Let's see here. We've got Carson Focht signed an entry-level deal for Vancouver. Luke Kunin re-signed for 2 years for Nashville. Colin Wilson retired from the Colorado Avalanche. Zemgus Girgensson is placed on the IR with a hamstring injury from Buffalo, so that does not help them. And, of course, Dylan Strome did re-sign 2 years with the Chicago Blackhawks. John Marino got a contract extension for 6 years for Pittsburgh. Good signing for them. Marino is going to be a very good player for Pittsburgh moving forward. And
that could qualify to Priz's question, too. I like that.
Yeah, John Marino. Yeah, yep. Unfortunately for the Flyers fans out there, if you were hoping to see Tanner Laczynski, he has got a core muscle injury, so he will probably not be playing for the Flyers this year at all. And, of course, Nikita Kucherov, IR with a hip injury for Tampa Bay. Vladimir Tarasenko on the IR for his shoulder for the St. Louis Blues. That's a tough loss for the Blues because Vladdy is their best goal scorer, but they still have depth. It's not that they're dead in the water on that. It's just it's a real tough loss when you lose Vladimir.
There was some talk about him coming to Philadelphia too. That's a bullet.
that is a bullet. Let's see here, and we've got also, if you're a Flyers fan, hip injury for Karel Ustimenko, so that probably means he's done for the year. Tyler Seguin, IR, hip injury for Dallas. Poor Seguin, man. He cannot stay healthy. His whole career, he has had injury problems on top of injury problems. And let's see here. Marian Hossa, obviously, skin infection. Reason why he's not playing, and he's on the IR. So that was for Arizona. Ben Bishop is on the IR with his knee still, so Anton Khudobin will obviously be starting things off for Dallas this year, which isn't a bad thing if he can continue what he did last year. Brandon Dubinsky's on the IR for the wrist for Columbus Blue Jackets. It's a little bit of a tough loss for him, but they do have some depth. Gustav Nyquist is also gone for the Blue Jackets. He has IR for his shoulder. Kirby Dach is out for the Blackhawks, wrist. And then obviously talked about Pastrnak with the hip injury.
Wrist?
No, I did not.
Did you guys see his wrist?
No.
Jacked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if anybody saw it. You see how your wrist is straight?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you break it, it goes one way or the other.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell he broke his wrist cross-checking.
Ooh.
It was like broken in like two places. It almost looked like it was zigzagged.
Damn. Yeah, that's bad. Whew, he broke that fucker. Okay. Let's see
You
here.
can definitely tell, like I said, that he broke it cross-checking somebody, which he did.
Yeah. And then Jonathan Toews placed on the IR with an illness of some kind. Hopefully it is not COVID.
I don't think it's COVID.
Okay, then that's good news. He is off of the Blackhawks. Isaac Ratcliffe for the Flyers had a fractured rib, so we will not be seeing Ratcliffe. And obviously Alexander Steen retired, and he's gone from the St. Louis Blues. That's a tough loss for them. And Mike Hoffman got signed to a PTO for the St. Louis Blues, so that might be an answer to some of the issues that they could have moving forward.
Real quick, I want to get the Gator Country's question here. It says, how many games do you think Carter Hart starts?
Let's see here. I'd say like.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rob. I'm doing math and I'm not good at it, so give me a moment.
I think you see 40 to 42 starts. You mix in Moose a little bit. I mean, maybe even upwards to 45. Because of his youth.
I see that.
I know it's a lot of back-to-back situations, but you have a lot of. And then I scanned through the Flyers schedule as you move towards April and May, and you get a couple 2 days in between. I think they did a phenomenal job, at least for the Flyers standpoint, balancing out the schedules. I'm sure it's true for all the league, just to give them a little bit of a respite.
Yeah, I'm in that 35 to 45 range myself. Real quick, Maddie, before you answer, DB, probably the best way to describe Kirby Doc wrist. He said it looked like a Tetris piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna say, yeah, I can't really argue against that 40. Yeah, you can do like a 42, 43, 44, 45, around that range. Yeah. I mean, I can't. Yeah, there'll be a decent little chunk of the season that we're gonna see Moose. Maybe a little bit more than even the average season, only because of the fact that it's such a short run and such a quick dash that you want to give Hart enough time. But so let's see here. We got Chrome saying, before we go to Chrome's question, he said also fuck the Bruins, but I love the video of how they named Bergeron captain.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And let's see here. Chrome then said, let me ask each of you guys, season starts next week. What is the one single thing this Flyers season you each are looking forward to? For Bry, what is the single most exciting thing for you with the Ducks?
You guys can go first.
For me, I'd like to see the I would really much like to see Provorov become the defensive leader that we know he can be. I'd like to see him take that role and grab it, say, I'm the defensive captain. I'm the leader of this defensive team moving forward. I'd like to see that.
Awesome. I'm kind of along the same lines. I'm very excited what the youth on offense is, and specifically, believe it or not, no, I'm not going to focus on Frost, but he's part of that equation. I'm a very pro Joel Farabee guy. I think he's just an intelligent player. He makes all the right decisions, and he has a knack for scoring goals. So, I want to see this team consistently score, and get ahead and get off to a fast start, because that's what's going to be necessary in this truncated season.
All right, so I'll give both. For the Flyers, I'm looking forward to seeing them take the next step. We saw that they can have the team right now pretty much in place to make a deep run. I want to see them get back to that level. I want to see them take the next step forward. Young guys taking steps forward as well, especially in their development, guys like Farabee. For Anaheim, I just don't want him to see him at the bottom of the barrel in offense again this year. It was like 4 out of the last 5 years they've been down there. I just want to see them. I just want to see them score some goals. I don't care if they win the game or not. Just score some goddamn goals. But I think with the young talent that they'll have there, I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to figure out ways to create some offense and get creative with those young puppies down there. And before you know it, Anaheim's going to be back in the playoffs 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, man. I fell in love with Zegras, man. He's a great player. He's playing well with your other boy there that you'll be playing against during the NHL season.
Can't wait for him.
Mr. Hand for days.
And DB.
Yeah, he does. And he always seems to find a way to be in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that second goal against Canada in the finals.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see here. Chrome, he said, how about bold takes? Can I get one bold take regarding the Flyers/Ducks and one bold prediction for the league as a whole? Okay. Bold take for the Flyers? All right, I'll do a bold take. Flyers are number 1 in their division and are competing for the President's Trophy. Don't want them to win it, but they're competing for it. That's my bold take. Rob, take it away.
All right. I feel like I got to pick one because I got 2 in mind. So I'm going to go with this one, and I think it could happen because I said it before, and I had to take it back a little bit because it's not an 82-game season, right? But bold take, Travis Konechny, 38 goals.
Nice.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm writing it down, too.
There you go.
So that way you can make fun of me when I'm wrong again.
Bri, how about you? What about those Duckies of yours? Bold take for it.
Does it have to be something I have to believe in?
No. You could foolish. Who cares? Go ahead. Have fun with it. It's bold.
Because I don't have high expectations for this team being where they are in the rebuild. But all right, I got one, and this one I do believe in. Jonathan Gibson was the Vezina.
Oh, there we go.
Gibber. Yeah.
There we go.
Yep. Gibby wins the Vezina.
And then one bold prediction for the league as a whole.
Well, before we do that, DB saying over under 100 points for Ilya Mikheyev.
Mikheyev?
Mikheyev,
He's going to be way under 100. It's a 56-game season, brother.
2 points a game. It's no problem. I like it. It's bold.
Detroit will only win 10 games.
Damn it, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, that's great.
I have high. Oh, you know what? As a league as a whole, you know what? I like it. As a whole, I like Detroit in the playoffs.
Ooh.
All right.
We're going to the opposite end. And
they've made some moves, and I like some of the moves that they made.
Yeah.
And they brought in Thomas Greiss, solid goaltender, solid defense in front. Offense could, we'll see. My bold prediction, Detroit makes the playoffs for the first time.
All right. My bold prediction for the league, and this is a big one. Hopefully Gary Bettman's listening. A Canadian team wins the Stanley Cup.
I have a specific team in mind, but go on.
Okay, I'm open to any, but it's any team.
I think I know where you're thinking. I think I know what you're thinking, Rob.
Robbie, go ahead.
The Toronto Maple Leafs beat their curse.
That wasn't where I thought you were going.
You didn't think I was going with that as much as I touted
No.
during the discussions.
I thought you were going. I thought you may have been going with Calgary.
Oh, I do like Calgary. I mean that's going to be a fierce division, the all Canadian division there, North as they call it. You got Vancouver. I could have easily went Vancouver there too.
Could have. I like Calgary better. They got the better goaltender.
Interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, Markstrom. Yeah.
Yep. Markstrom went from Vancouver to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Holtby. Holtby's got the experience and the ring, but Markstrom's a little bit younger. I think he's a little bit better. You don't have to worry about his consistency issues.
So I've always wanted that. I've always wanted the Calgary Flames Philadelphia Flyers final. It's like I don't know if it's down because of the insignias, the respective insignias, but this goes way back to Jerome and Gilna days with the Flames. Always.
I was going to say, does it have to do with Johnny facing his hometown team?
Yeah, that might be. Maybe. Might be his line of thinking. I really like Toronto's chances. I like the new coaching staff in there. It's another year into that system. If you want to go back to my full breakdown, you can go back and shows past where we broke down their division. I like the signs. I even like them bringing in Thornton. You know what I mean? Just another defensive guy to keep these guys in check because they've always had a point where they could get mentally weak, and specifically Austin Matthews. And there's so much talent on that team. This, they have everything in place, goaltending, defense, great scores. I've shat on Toronto in the past. This is kind of a 180 for me. That's why it's bold.
I like some of these bold comments that are coming in. A couple of them I can't really get behind. Gator Country put Islanders to the Cup. The only reason why I can't get behind that is all going to determine on how fast they can get Matt Barzal back under contract. Mm-hmm. If they can get him back early, okay, I could definitely see that. There was a couple other ones. I got to scroll up here.
Joe's saying Joe's saying I hate every other team. I bleed orange and black, but gun to my head, Calgary is who I would say was my second team. And he went on to say, Always like their logo, name, and jerseys. Well, here's something fun. I don't know if Joe remembers this, if he was watching this show. When we were going through the failed franchises, we talked about the Atlanta Flames, where Calgary used to be before they moved. The reason why they are called the Flames is because George Sherman burned Atlanta during the Civil War. And that is the reason why they are called the Flames. And that name just stuck when they went to Calgary. So really, the name has its roots in the American South way more than it did in Calgary.
So I'm going to jump on the Priz's question here since it's angled more for Anaheim. He wants to know Sam Steele, Max Jones, Isaac Lundestrom, expectations for each of them. I want to see Sam Steele become that guy that they expect him to be in the draft. He has a lot of offensive upside, and we haven't quite started to see it yet. We've seen some of his scoring ability, which, he's got a pretty good wrist shot. Max Jones, I want to see a little bit more of the grit out of him. We know he's got the scoring upside as well. I've seen flashes of brilliance out of him offensively. Would definitely love to see his grittiness come out a little bit. Dan, as always, thank you, brother.
Good night, man.
And for Isaac Lundestrom, I want to see him pass some goals. I don't care if he has 15, 20, 25, 40, 50, 70, breaks the record. Don't care. I want to see this kid score some goals. He's got a huge offensive upside. He's good in the face-off circle. Ducks are high on him. I'm very excited. There's just so much to be excited about for this team. Obviously, playoffs aren't expected, but I'm very excited for this Ducks team. I really am. The future, like the Flyers, is going to be bright. I'm not necessarily looking at right now for them. I'm looking bigger picture. I honestly see the Anaheim Ducks winning a. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, had nothing to do with what you were saying, Brian. That's
no, I know. I saw both of you last. I'm like, what did that comment say?
Speaking of comments, real quick, Sweeps chimes in. He goes, "What up, boys? Happy New Year, USA, USA, USA! Junior's huge win. Let's go." That was awesome the other night. Quick question, though, and we kind of touched upon this beforehand, but not including Bobby Brink. He goes, when do you think York and Brink could be on the Fly Guys roster?
York next year. Bobby Brink, I still think he's got 2 years left.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I love that Sweeps has his own line. I'm just putting that out there. I love it.
Are we calling it the Sweeps line? Just out of pure curiosity? We are? Okay.
It's the text thread, the Uncle Sweeps text thread. Shit goes down.
But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the future. Big picture. I'm not worried about this year. I'm worried about big picture. And once Anaheim gets back to the playoff contention, they're going to be a problem.
Yep.
Best part, Gibby's going to be in his prime.
Habs versus the Canucks final. One of those cities will riot.
They haven't yet? Oh, wait, no, sorry. That's just, any American city right now.
Well, let's be honest here. If the Habs make the Canucks, the Canucks are just going to lose again because that's what they do. They get to the finals and they lose. That's all they do.
Speaking of Stanley Cup finals and losses, they're televising Game 6 of 2011 Stanley Cup Finals right now.
Oh, for real?
The Canucks versus the Bruins. Oh,
sorry, 2010. 2010.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's see here, gentlemen. Time to move forward on to our
showtime, baby.
On to the World Junior Championship to close out the show. Oh, yes, Robbie.
Real quick, I got to talk about this because I love it. The NHL made a key rule change during the holidays about offsides, and they defined it where you no longer have to have your skate on the ice. It's as long as it doesn't break the complete plane of it. You can look it up on the specifics. I'm going to be very quick with this, but it's kind of like think about the goal line in football, right? But think of it as the back line, not the front line, right? As long as that skate, it could be up in the air, doesn't break the ending of that blue line, just as the puck enters in the zone, that play will now be onside. So you're going to see a lot more onside plays. What you're also going to see is less coaches' challenges for this because of less infractions. So all can rejoice in AV land.
Yeah, I love the idea. I think it's a great rule change. I agree with Cromer. It's something that should have been done a long time ago. Just as long as the challenges come down, I think some of them are a little ridiculous. But I love the rule change. I think it's going to keep the game moving at a little bit of a faster pace.
100%.
We got Johnny Coyle. What's up, John? Chiming in. He's saying, "What's up, boys? Sorry, so late. I have my draft tomorrow night. Any chance I can get everyone's top 5? This is probably for what, baseball? I would assume.
Fantasy hockey, that would be my guess.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little. I mean, hey, I'm drafting some drafting holds right now, but it's definitely early for baseball. Jeez, I mean, I'll throw one name in. I'll throw one of the top 5 in, and this is a guy that Don mentioned, and I think he's going to have a prolific goal scoring year, and that's Dylan Larkin, Detroit Red Wings.
Okay then.
Hang on. Before we do this, why is Don telling Prism to get ready to burn?
Because Prism said earlier in the comments, every 20 years, I feel like the Red Wings are gonna just burn everything because of what happened in the 90s.
Oh my God! I have no idea what's going on between these two, and all I see is him telling get ready to burn. Like, no, this just caught me off guard. Top 5 in fantasy hockey, huh?
So top 5 fantasy hockey. I definitely think a sleeper pick for me, I would say keep your eyes on Anthony Cirelli. I mean, I know he just got his big deal, but I think he'll play well for Tampa Bay moving forward. As for other players, for the top 5, let's see here. What?
Just Don. I was just really, really concerned. That's all. I thought there was some hatred out there or something. We're burning enough here as it is. We don't need any more.
He's going all Kane from Batman.
Mm-hmm. No, he absolutely is.
Burn.
Top 5. I don't know. I haven't played fantasy hockey in a long time.
Well, yeah, but we got to focus on some of the top guys in the league. I mean, obviously, Sidney Crosby's still a top 5 fantasy play.
McDavid, Draisaitl.
Right.
If that's the case. Maybe a sneaky sleeper could be. Would you consider Sean Monahan a sleeper?
Not a sleeper, but maybe a potential breakout guy.
Okay. I mean, Kane's a top guy. Taves I would hold off on.
Yeah.
Actually, I would try and stash him if you can, because he'll probably be back.
In terms of
Ovi's always the top guy.
keep it. Look at Cam Atkinson for Columbus, because I would say the Blue Jackets are probably going to be real good this year. So keep your eyes on him.
Nathan
McKinnon, obviously, Connor McDavid, Draisaitl. Those are obvious ones.
Good sleeper, Cale Makar.
Makar is a good one. For
I love Prism and Don.
I like Alex Pietrangelo on the defense in terms of with his move to the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Probably not going for a defenseman in the top 5, but just to cover like all the positionals, and then Vasilevsky's a phenomenal pickup and goaltender. Carter Hart, I think, would be a great play as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like Torrey Krug now in St. Louis. That if we're going to talk that, obviously he's not a top 5 guy, but he's another guy. He's going to be the go-to guy in St. Louis on the defensive side. Gosh, it's tough.
John Marino is a good sleeper pick if you want to go with sleeper fantasy picks. I would check out Oscar Lindblom for another sleeper. if he's having a real good year, he may actually help you. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff actually. There's a lot.
Gator country, for sure. Nobody here is sleeping on the Penguins. As long as they have Malkin and Crosby, and you can even throw Letang into that mix, they're going to be competitor. They're going to be contenders. And Tristan Jarry is better than Matt Murray. So
Jake Getzel too.
Jake Getzel. So yeah, absolutely. No one's sleeping on the Penguins here.
Yeah, we are.
Ted saying, Chrome asked about the league, but what teams will be your biggest disappointments who won't live up to their hype, and who's your biggest surprise? A team number one is talking about to making a run. Well, disappointment for me in terms of their hype. Well, I could say I could argue that it could be Edmonton or Toronto if McDavid and Draisaitl will probably be really great on offense, but if depth is not there for Edmonton, they could have a real rough season. And their goaltending is a big question mark, and that could really bother them.
Can you consider Toronto a disappointment when every season they're a disappointment?
That's a good argument to make. That should actually be a Twitter question.
Is that a shot at Priz's team?
I don't know.
Priz, you're a Maple Leafs fan, right? Did I just take a shot?
I don't know. We'll see what Priz says. We'll see what his response is to that one. Rob, what about you? What do you think about disappointment?
For disappointment, Edmonton. For a number one that biggest surprise that no one is talking about to make a run, Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay.
Feel pretty strongly about
that. For me, surprise team, I'm gonna stick with Columbus. I think Columbus will be a real pain in the ass this year coming up.
My biggest surprise is probably going to be the Rangers.
Yeah, I agree. The Rangers could definitely be that.
Good one. I think you're seeing Alexei Lafreniere from Jump Street. He didn't play with Team Canada and was with the in training camp for a reason. And very few players get drafted and get thrown right in there. And generational guys like him can do that. And they already had a very exciting offense last season. So the blue shirts worry me a little bit. I'm actually going to be paying attention to them really closely, guys, covering them a little bit for A2D New York. So, I'm going to have to find good things about the Rangers.
I'm sorry.
I was actually wrong to do on camera. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you have to go through that.
Joe's saying, I hope Carolina, Columbus, Washington, Boston, the Islanders, and Pittsburgh are all disappointments. In a perfect world, right?
Yeah, good luck with going undefeated there, DB. Good luck with that.
You played like 3 games in March.
All right, guys.
That's actually not true because the season was kind of. No, that was about right. You played 3 games in March before everything shut down.
All right, then.
Knock that off.
Yeah, that's a harsh thing to say on Matten's part. But anyway, so this is Priz's response. Want to see the Maple Leafs win a cup because it's been so long. It's not a shot. It's the truth.
I was making sure because I thought I was taking a shot, and I don't want you to take it personally. Anybody else is fine.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, apparently I wasn't paying attention.
So let's see here. So finish this, guys. The Flyers prospects in the World Junior Championship. Obviously, we talked about Cam York, Bobby Brink. Emil Andre was in the Swedish team. Unfortunately, the Swedish team didn't have the best outing in this year's World Championships. But the World Junior Championship, great prequel to the NHL season. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great stuff to see from the young kids who, big, bright future for a lot of teams, a lot of young prospects there. Sure, it was great for you, Bri, getting to see some Ducks.
Getting to see a couple Kings as well. Justin Byfield playing for Team Canada, and Alex Turcotte, who I hate to say it, is a stud. I mean, they both are. But yeah, Don King Ducks Rivalry on ATG Radio. Let's go, baby boy. That's what I'm talking about. All year, DB, bring it.
Oh, and I think Joe does sum it up best. The Maple Leafs just need the love group. Oh, actually,
that might work.
It may. They may win. The DB saying, "Yeah, the battle for the basement." Oh, so,
actually, I think that's going to go to the Sharks.
Yeah, I think the Sharks are probably a shoo-in for the basement this year. I think that's a good safe, and of course, they're my team out west, so figures.
Absolutely spot on. Watch out for the Avalanche, best defense in the NHL.
Agreed. Yes, definitely watch out for the Avalanche. So, World Junior Championship recap. Team USA does get the win over Team Canada. They are gold medalists this year. Always a great final to see Team Canada and Team USA, to see that North American rivalry in full swing. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Cannot wait to see some of the prospects that we saw there in the NHL. Definitely can't wait to see the Flyers ones. Brad can't wait to see the Ducks ones. Obviously, I just had their name. Who won the bronze? Was it
Finland?
Thank you. It was Finland. Jeez, blank there completely. But
nobody else was very good.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it this way: Canada let up 4 goals in the entire tournament, and they were all in the penalty kill. So, goes to say that 5-on-5 they weren't playing very good teams. Team USA comes out of nowhere, and Trevor Zegras, love the kid's confidence and cockiness. What's he say? Oh, they're going to match up against a really good 5-on-5 team now. So let's see how they actually do. Shout out. Yeah. Shout out. Looks like Manton's trying to take a couple shots here. 1975, said 1975 a couple times. Don, I agree. Love the prospects. We have a very bright future coming up. He also said something about something not being good enough. And have you ever seen the Flyers win the Cup? Robbie, I know you have.
Huh? No.
No?
No, 78 was born.
All right, my math was off. I thought you were still a wee little lad.
Blame me.
I thought you were a wee little lad.
Oh.
Hey, I'd skydive with no parachute if it meant a cup for the Flyers for you guys.
Yeah.
I'd do it.
Hell yeah.
I was guaranteed that it would be a cup.
Of the
world!
True. All right. I like this question from Joe. It is a hockey show, but NFL playoffs are underway as of Saturday. Upsets, I don't even know what the matchups are, to be completely honest. But as far as Super Bowl goes, I see KC getting there. NFC, I got Green Bay and KC.
Robbie?
Fair enough. This weekend for an upset, I am going to go with the Baltimore. If you could consider this an upset, but it is because the Titans handled them quite handily in last year's playoffs. I think the Ravens reversed the script because they're playing their best football of the year right now. So that'd be my upset for this weekend. Because I don't see the Bears. I mean, maybe the Bears and the Saints, maybe, but I still think the Saints have enough to win that ball game. And whenever you have Mitch Trubisky quarterbacking your club, that's no good. That's no bueno. For the Super Bowl, I agree with you on the Packers. I don't think the Chiefs. You know what? I'm about to make Bills Mafia very happy. The Buffalo Bills return to the Super Bowl just to get beat again because some things never change.
So for me, since I don't really watch football, I'm just going to do this just because I feel like it. So On the AFC side, I'll just go Chiefs. On the side of the NFC, to complete the shitstorm that was 2020, name redacted, Washington wins the whole fucking thing. Why? Because it would be the perfect cherry on top of the shit cake that was 2020 to finish it all out. Why not? Let's just have it out. Let everybody be pissed off that Washington won something.
Boy, I hope Berto and Berto thinks I'm an issue.
I just want to see it. I just want to see what everybody's reaction would be if it happened. I would piss my pants laughing if it did. I'm like, yep, NFL's completely rigged. If name redacted wins that whole thing, it's like, yes, the NFL is the most rigged sport in the world. It has to be if that's the case.
Over at Elite, we call them the Washington Potatoes, just to make it easier, just to give them a name. But it'd be a great story for Alex Smith, though.
It'd be a great story for Ron Rivera as well.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I think their defense is good enough. I just don't think their offense is.
I mean, you got Terry McLaurin. Antonio Gibson is a phenomenal rookie, and he's come back from that turf toe. I like the pieces that they have. Logan Thomas at tight end. They have a lot of good-looking pieces that, Deshaun Watson will be throwing to next season.
I like where your head's at.
I don't want to see him in that division, but could happen. They're talking.
It's the last thing the Eagles fans need now.
Yeah.
It's bad enough we got to go deal with what we got to deal with. Now we got to deal with it with another team.
All right. So with that, I think that's a good note to finish this one. All right, guys. So we thank everybody for joining us for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. And you know
God,
what?
DB's comment.
The what? What, this one?
Uh-huh.
Can't wait for COVID to attack the Super Bowl, giving us Jordan Love versus Chad Henne for the championship.
I didn't even know Chad Henne was even still in the league.
So yeah. Hey, because you know what the NFL will do? They made other teams play when they shouldn't, but they'll extend. Oh no, we're backing up the Super Bowl. We're backing it up. If there's mark my words, if there's something like that happens, they're backing it up.
Especially if it's a marquee matchup.
Yeah, Super Bowl, absolutely.
All right, guys. So we thank you all for joining us. Thank everybody who chimed in today. All of the regulars that we've seen before. Gator Country, we've seen him before. Good luck to your Tampa Bay Lightning in their division, albeit though it's actually kind of an easy division for them. And thank you, Prism. Thank you, DB, of course. And get better, brother. We're with you all the way on that one. And good luck to your Los Angeles Kings as they continue to rebuild their franchise.
And, hell.
And Joe,
sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. What I said was rotten hell.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Just to make sure DB heard it. I understand. You might want to get that cough checked out though.
It's nasty. It's dry, very dry.
And Don, thank you for chiming in, man. Good luck with your Detroit Red Wings. Hopefully they have some prospects that'll show something this year. And Prism, always love seeing you, brother. Good luck with the All-Canadian division. That one I'm going to be actually very honed in on that one because that is the second deathmatch division because every team is pretty even with each other. So the only guarantee is Ottawa is being dead last. But, with that, thank everybody for chiming in. Ted P., Jason Clay. John Coyle, as always, thank you for chiming in. Hopefully we got you enough top fives there for your draft tomorrow. And again, guys, thank you so much, fam. We love you guys so much. You guys make us what we are. We wouldn't be nothing without you. And if you want to support us and you want to support the whole A2Dradio.com, where can they go, Bri?
Head on over to phillydrinkers.com. I forgot the website for a second. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty. Head on over to PhillyDrinkers.com, Philly Drinkers LLC. Get all your ATG merch there. We got a bunch of stuff for the fall line that's just come out. Great fleeces, blankets, socks. Got hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers. You got a specific show you love the most? Go get your Hockey Happy Hour T-shirt. Philly Drinkers LLC, PhillyDrinkers.com. Also go to allcampus.com. You can get all kinds of Philly hats there. Also use the promo code HUD. I believe you get 15% off. That's allcampus.com.
Awesome. All right, guys, and we thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. We are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. We are also brought to you by Ambuck Services. When the winter comes and goes, spring starts to come in, you might want to get your deck restored as well as get your gutters clean, get the bushes trimmed. So that way all you got to do is pull out the lawnmower and take care of the back and front lawn. And Ambuck Services can do that for you. You give them a call at 856-879-5530. They'll do that for you. Make sure that all you got to do is mow the lawn and everything else is taken care of. Perfect. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week. The regular season is officially here, guys. Get excited. Get pumped. Even though we may say there's guarantees, there is none in hockey. Anything can happen any given night, any given game. In a 56-game mad dash, expect the unexpected. We'll see you guys next week right here on A2DRadio.com. Peace and love. Stay safe, everybody. Wear your mask. We'll see you guys.